in a movie theater before.
I'm fucking dead. That's insane. Nah, I can't wait for you to see it though. Like, it's really good.
I can't wait to see it either. I've heard it's really good. I am debating whether or not I want to give the movie, because we have like an independent, locally owned theater in town that is the only movie theater because I live in the middle of fucking nowhere. But there is an AMC 30 minutes away that used to be the one that you went to see movies, and I'm this close.
I mean, if you get it, bring it to a Comic-Con and get it signed, I think it would probably be worth a couple $100s in the future. Because
if I take it to anywhere and get it signed by either Hugh Jackman or Ryan Reynolds, it's going to be right over here every episode.
Yeah.
Right below my Star Wars shit.
I think that's kind of like my favorite thing about this movie that had nothing to do with like the movie itself, is that like you could really tell that Hugh Jackman had fun making this movie. You know what I mean? Like, Ryan Reynolds obviously did. He loves this character. He's the reason that we have these movies.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Hugh didn't mail it in. Like, he acted angry. He knew how to act campy. Like, it was not as good of a send off as Logan, because obviously nothing would be. But it was definitely good.
Well, that's good to hear. So my final question is: you have 3 Deadpool movies now. Which one's the best? Your opinion, 1, 2, or 3. Which was the best one?
All right, 2's on the bottom because it's a good movie, but it's on the bottom. 1 is written really well. Like, it's like written really, really fucking well. But like, I'd rewatch 1 more, but 3 is like so insane that it has to be the top. Like, the jokes hit, because like it's hard to make Deadpool jokes after Deadpool joke after Deadpool jokes, and now you're doing a 3rd movie and you have to come up with like more Deadpool jokes. I'm like, how many times can you say shit, fucking, dick in a sentence?
And have him look directly at the audience and goes, now I know this looks dangerous, guys, but
exactly. So like, they really kind of up the humor. Like, there's one line where like Wolverine's in the thing, and he's like, you're joining the MCU out of a bit of a lull, and like, they were just like aware of themselves enough. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna need 1 spoiler.
1 spoiler?
Can you see the comment that we have up?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, that's because I'm pretty sure that like Kevin Feige had to explain what pegging was to Disney. I'll give you 1 spoiler that's not gonna like go like too crazy. Let me think. 1 second. You see at least 6 or 7 different Wolverines. So you get almost every single kind of comic book variant there is. And in 1 quick scene, you see the Hulk. And I mean the Hulk.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like,
the main ones.
Oh, what is his name? Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk?
Yeah, like the Hulk beating the shit out of somebody. One of them is Deadpool.
Well, anything I get to see the Hulk in, I'm happy about. He's one of my favorites.
Dude, they toss shade at DC. They toss shade at like everybody. Like, and it was so fucking funny.
I love that this happens.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, Marvel gives the fans what they want. They're like, oh, you want Hugh Jackman back? Oh, no doubt. Oh, you want all the Spider-Man back? Yeah, I think we can arrange that. Hey, you want
new meme back? Just dropped, bud. I think the animated Wolverine one on the bottom here, never gonna happen again. Because
look at it, it's perfection. He puts on the mask. And it's glorious. Like, it's kind of campy, but in the right way. You know what I mean?
I am just so incredibly excited to see this one.
Yeah, no,
but this does lead us into one of our 2 discussion pieces this episode. In lieu of Revenge of the Pick, which I guess this one is a little bit more, we have this. So, what's going on here? Talk to me.
Who do you think had the better comeback? Because they both happened this year. Anakin or Wolverine. Hugh Jackman or Hayden. Who do you think?
This is a tough one.
Considering they're both peak. Like, episode 5, peak. This movie, peak. It's not like they came back and they sucked. They came back and they kicked fucking ass.
All right. Now, hear me out.
All right.
Because while Hugh Jackman has had a very successful return, I never thought that doing Logan was going to be the last time we saw him as Wolverine. I didn't have Deadpool as a guess where he was going to show up. But, and exactly right, what I was going to say, what is most impressive to me is being somebody who remembers the media reaction to the prequel movies and how Hayden was treated, not just by like the press, because the writing is a little weak. He's a very wooden actor in these because George is a weird guy and that's what he thought Anakin should look like.
Yeah.
But like genuinely, to see Hayden come back and everybody just be like, oh my God, we have no idea why you didn't want anything to do with the fan base for 20 years. All of us love you except like 5 guys.
Yeah. And they were writers for magazines. I'm glad you said the media because I'm sure there are fans who didn't like him. But when those prequels are coming out, me and my friends all loved them.
Loved it. The only one I was like, Attack the Clones has always been the worst one for me because of the romance subplot. Because in 2003, when that movie came out, I was fucking 11. So I just didn't care.
Yeah. I think they do that when you're a kid. You kind of just like, blah, 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 lightsaber.
Yeah.
For me, I love that movie, Attack of the Clones, because I can't remember anything. I have the worst memory in the world. It's like a blank page. But I remember my boss, who was obsessed with Star Wars, came to the restaurant where I was working at, made me transfer all my tables, took me in a car. I thought he was gonna fucking murder me. And he's like, "Nah, we're gonna go see Attack of the Clones because I know you've seen it and I have no one to see it with, because I'm old and crazy." So I was like, "All right, yeah, fuck it, let's go." So we went and saw Attack of the Clones again. And I don't remember the first time seeing it, but I remember that time and digesting it and I loved it.
The Attack of the Clone memes are peak.
I didn't think the romance was that bad because I never thought the romance was written that well in Star Wars. I'll admit that Empire's way better because Carrie's a great actress, Harrison Ford's a great actor, but she's calling him nerf herder, it's campy as fuck, you know what I'm saying? So
I completely agree. I think I've always thought, since I could have an adult opinion on it, after I was interested in stuff other than boogers and Pokemon cards, George can't write romance to save his life. And it is perhaps the weakest point of him as a writer. And you're right. It's in episode 5. And at the end of 7, when Leia's like, so what does this mean for us? And Luke's just like, oh, we're brother and sister, bro. That's gross.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's part of the thing. In the original trilogy, there's a romance, but it's at the sub level, you know what I'm saying? And supposedly Harrison Ford improvised that line, right? I love you, I know, right?
Yeah.
Because George Lucas probably wrote some cringy ass Attack of the Clones I love you too. And they were like, nah, I actually think it should go like this. Let's just
I believe that's what he said, is it was some he's affectionate back to Leia, and he goes, well, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
What he'd say is, I know.
Yeah. And it works. And even the last movie, there's a couple of looks, but the romance isn't the driving part of the original trilogies. And I think that's probably why we noticed it more than no one, because it had to happen in the prequels. If Padme and Anakin don't get together, it's a little weird.
Where did the baby come from?
Yeah. But I think you're right, though. I think Anakin coming back, because Hugh had a great time. He's never been hated, and everyone always even in the bad movies are well, it wasn't his fault. You gave him a shit script. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Hayden coming back, I think, was the
and
best.
I think seeing him come back and number one, just absolutely slaying Anakin and Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Bodied it. Also, bodied Vader and Kenobi.
Yeah. That was actually the first time you see Vader be a little terrifying. He's dragging people in the fire,
I really think those two roles, he has the bigger difference in his comeback, I think, as far as how his original roles were received versus these new ones.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think anybody's going to say that Hayden was the issue with Kenobi or Ahsoka, because he did such a marvelous job on both of them.
Yeah, man. I remember when Kenobi premiered, and there was that kind of flashback episode where you see him fighting in the prequels. They were just kind of sparring. That was everything. I was oh my God, I can't wait to make fucking edits with this.
But speaking of comebacks, we have some interesting news from San Diego. Robert Downey Jr.'s back. He's going to be Dr. Doom.
What did the fans this one. I want to know what the fans thought first.
What did the streets say?
Streets.
I mean, what do you think?
I think, because I can never give a straight answer.
Is this a good or a bad idea?
I think it's a good idea based on where we are in the MCU. Like, we all know what happened with Jonathan Majors. You know what I'm saying? He was going to be the big bad of this phase or whatever, and now that cannot happen. You know what I'm saying? Majors is out, so you have to kind of restructure everything. And I think this is all they could do. So if nothing had happened with Jonathan Majors, I'd been like, this is a bad move. This show is kind of like, we don't know what we're doing, yada yada yada. But now that they have to pivot, they have to go away from Kang. I don't think it's that bad. And I also don't think that this Doctor Doom is going to be the final Doom. I think he's going to play a variant, and we're going to get another one.
But I mean, like, as far as this is going to be the first time that we see what is arguably Marvel's most iconic villain. Like, can you name a bigger one?
I mean, the problem is too is that they've kind of messed it up twice almost. The Fantastic Four movie that everybody fucking hates. Like, I've never seen a unanimous hate for a movie besides the new Fantastic Four. No one liked it. And the original, it kind of whitewashed, kind of like dumbed down the entire story. You know what I'm saying? So people like the purists didn't like it. So this is gonna be the third time they've done Doctor Doom. So people are like ready for it to be done like it is in the comics, like a terrifying monster villain.
So here's my problem. This almost smells like, hey, I've went back to my ex, and I'm sorry, Allie, for disagreeing with both you and Richard on this. But let me explain. I feel like they were like, okay, we need an actor that we know is going to make us $1 billion movie again. And we went with the safest pick.
But by that logic, if it's making $1 billion, it's a good movie.
I mean, sure, but how much of that is riding off the hype of RDJ being back at Marvel?
I think that would work for the first movie, but not the second movie. Because with this news, he also said that he'd only come back if the Russo brothers came back. So it's not
which they've got the next 2 movies.
And like their track record is Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. These are all almost, I think, or $1 billion or $2 billion movies. And they are good.
That is a good point. I am mostly upset because they announced Giancarlo Esposito's casting at SDCC, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Sidewinder.
Now, who did I want him to play?
An X-Man.
Charles Xavier, but I really would have settled with the rumor that he was going to play Doom. I think he would have killed it.
You know who I wanted to play Doom? There's the obvious one. There's Cillian Murphy, but that's like been fan casted.
Cillian Murphy.
Everybody's fan casted, but I think an original one, like the guy from Dune and Dune 2, obviously Stilgard. Then it was like, you saw the guy.
Yeah.
I think he could have been like a towering, scary, non-white actor playing Doom.
Yeah, I just like when I think of Doom, I think of like very menacing, very calculating, and big Breaking Bad fan because I have a podcast. It's The Law. You have to watch that and The Sopranos and love them. But I really think that he would have killed his Doom. Not that I dislike Robert Downey Jr. coming back. I'm just very curious to see how much of this movie is going to fall on, hey, he's back. And I think you're right. I think with the Russo brothers, we have less of a chance of that. But, you want to talk about somebody that captured lightning in a bottle and probably wouldn't do, well, I don't know, maybe. If they could have got Favreau to come back. What do you think about that instead of the Russo brothers? Because you can't deny Iron Man 1 and 2 are where all of this started.
I mean, Favreau's the best. And I don't want to give any spoilers.
I didn't know it was getting so much hate, by the way.
Getting,
That's news to me.
getting a lot of hate, but you can
I
never.
really thought that would be a universally like, oh, we love this idea. Like,
You
I
can't.
thought I was gonna have a hot take here, so my
Anything
bad.
that's going to happen on the internet is just going to be like, and the more controversial it is, it's going to have hate, and it's always going to be a bunch of user blah 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 blahs, but a bunch of real people who hate it because like when the MCU started, people were like and then they were like this movie sucks, and there was a point of the MCU where it was like a few bangers in a row, like the Infinity Wars,
Mhm.
Captain Marvel made $1 billion, and Endgame, Ragnarok. They were on a fucking high, so it was kind of hard to criticize them. And now, there are trolls who want to criticize things, and I think the MCU now, that's what they're doing. And like RDJ, oh, you're just going back to this. They have no fucking aura, blah 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 blah. But I think you have to wait and see, and you have to acknowledge the fact that like they didn't want to do this. This wasn't the plan. The actor with
Yeah.
Down Majors, something fucking happened with there, and you have to like. It's
And
like,
I really think that it's very smart that they gave him what could be a very satisfying conclusion in Loki season 2. I think that was the smartest move to do, because I believe they were still shooting when all of that happened.
I mean, you not too much you could do. You could have cast a variant when you already said that there are no real variants of him, so you would have just contradicted yourself.
Yeah.
Would have been the worst thing, but could have happened. And
on the one hand, I do feel like Robert Downey Jr. as an actor, I love him. He was in one of my favorite movies of all time, Tropic Thunder.
I love that movie. I remember seeing Robert Downey Jr. in Heart and Soul, like when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie. He's a good actor.
See, I'm a little younger, so I'm really familiar with him. Like post, I had a really shitty Whopper from Burger King crash my sports car full of Coke into the ocean.
He is basically Tony Stark.
Yes. And I think that's why he did a great role, which is why Allie said, they do this all the time in cartoons. Well, you're right. He was a variant in a comic of Doom.
I think I sent you that comic thing, but I've only I'm dead. I don't think I've ever like read that comic, so I'm not gonna be like it's in the comics because I know it's like a Doom that is like kind of Iron Man, not kind of like a Tony Stark. That's something like that. They get their bodies get switched or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't read the whole thing enough to be like, yeah, this is in the comics. It happens all the time. So I'm gonna I'll probably pick it up if it's not too expensive now and see what it is.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this because I think that you're right, and I think this is the route they're going to pursue.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad though. I think like if you're getting RGJ back, because he's not gonna want to come and do it if it sucks. And I don't think the Russo brothers are gonna come back if it sucks. And like giving them Secret Wars, bro, they can be able to pull whatever they want and have like carte blanche because they've put out nothing but impressive movies. Like it's gonna be so sick. Like, and then I think the MCU fucking reboots, and then probably you might get a Jon Favreau. Like, imagine Jon Favreau directs the first movie in the new MCU with a new character.
That would be tight.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing we got, Vision Quest was apparently inspired by Star Trek Picard, according to Kevin Feige.
You gotta find you gotta find a new name for that show.
I don't know. I kind of dig it.
You do?
I do, but again, like I like it just because it makes me think very evocative of like what the hell is going to happen because it's not based on the original Vision, but the other one.
Yeah,
that's
what
like, well, think? I'm not Vision.
Yes or no? No debating. Does Scarlet Witch come back in this?
No,
I think yes.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we were both right about the Acolyte with Yoda coming back. You were like, he's going to be all up in it. And I was like, once.
He should have been.
It's probably going to be at the end of the show.
Using Yoda as a scapegoat. Oh, we need to make a Jedi look bad. Throw Yoda in the scene and blame it on him. We haven't beat that fucking horse dead yet.
What? I think it's fair to say that, cumulatively, probably a good scapegoat, but only because he lived to be like 900.
I feel like Yoda is exactly like Batman in the sense that if you give them a good writer, they are a great character. If you give them a shitty fucking writer, then they are a terrible character. Batman's killing people, Yoda's being an asshole. Like, I don't believe it. But like back to Vision Quest, I really do love the Next Generation, and I watched Picard. I didn't finish watching the third season,
I
but
need to watch Picard. I'm still paying for Paramount Plus because it's on my to-do list.
Drag Race is on there as well, and like, you gotta have all those.
It's not a bad idea. So what else? What other SDCC news do I bear?
I don't think this is a SDCC, but this is a rumor I was telling you about that Christopher Nolan might want to buy the rights to the Halo, like whatever.
Yeah, you did tell me about that. That is indeed a rumor.
That's
What do
gonna
you What do you think? Do you think he scraps it and starts all over?
scraps everything. He's like, everything you did was great. I'm sorry, you actors are gone now. Here's everybody from Inception and the Dark Knight trilogy in a TV show or a movie.
Okay, so let me argue for one person that should stay. I really liked both seasons of Pablo as Chief. I think he did a very good job. Regardless of what was in front of him, that man looked like Master Chief should look.
Dude, I like the show. I just know that it's gonna get no love from like anyone. Yeah, because like it wasn't my favorite thing, but like anything in universe, like I'm gonna like watch.
Well, I don't know, because think about it like this. Like, sure, they fucked up the Fall of Reach. The battle was really cool. I wrote an episode review for that for the website. I think I gave it like a 6.5, 7, 8 out of 10, somewhere in there. Because it was a phenomenally shot episode. I think it really captured like the tension of the war. I like the Easter eggs in it.
Killed like 4 people too, like 4 main characters in that episode.
But on the other hand, we are getting into the meat of the first game.
I honestly think he just scraps everything and does the video game.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he could just go into season 3, trim some storylines down. Like, I think you leave Quan alone because I've really liked her storyline with the Flood. I think it's a fair bit of foreshadowing, and apparently it fits into the lore if you actually read it. I've heard from several people.
I mean,
I like Pablo as Chief. I like the actress they got for Cortana and Halsey. That's not bad. But we are getting like
enough Cortana. Like, we needed more Cortana in the show.
Yes. And we're getting to that point where you could just be like, all right, so we're on the ring. I'm just going to straight up, whatever plans they had, fuck those. I'm going to work with what I have and shift it into being as close to replicating the game as possible. I think that's very salvageable.
If Nolan has it, it'll be good. I don't think he's done a bad project yet.
Hans Zimmer doing the score. I don't know. I haven't seen Tenet, but I've been told that I need to.
I don't like Tenet, but it's not a bad movie. Like, it's definitely like, it looks amazing. The concept of it is pretty crazy. But like, I just don't like the story. There are a couple movies. I think, what did he do? Is it Dunkirk too?
He did Dunkirk, and I liked that one.
I liked it, but I don't really like war movies that much. So I was like, it's good. But it's a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did it well. Like, it's amazing to watch, like, in terms of, like, cinematography, like, your action scenes.
Still haven't seen Oppenheimer either. I'm going to have to see if I can stream that somewhere now.
I think it's on Peacock. That's where I watched it.
I'll give you a far too late Oppenheimer review.
Apparently, there's a bomb.
But we also got some set photos from the Fantastic Four. I'm going to mute this video and make it big sized for us. Does that look like a satellite panel to you? Or is that going to be a logo?
Do some space stuff. Because they're in space for like part of the plot, I remember. Because like they like release certain plot points or whatever.
Well, it's about time. I've really wondered about this movie. I feel like I'm going to be pro Fantastic Four movie because Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
The man kills every single thing he's in. Oh, that's a good point. It could be a launch pad.
True. I think I don't know too much about the rest of the cast, but the Fantastic Four themselves, each one of the casting is pretty good. The dude who played Mike Roast in Punisher, and he's in The Bear, one of the cooks or something. He's a good actor. The dude from Stranger Things. I mean, he's playing Johnny. It's the easiest character to play, just playing like crazy dude, and I'm pretty sure he could do that. And then Pedro, I forget the girl's name, like They have done some good shit. The script just better be good.
I'm gonna be honest. If there was anybody that I feel like fits being called daddy, it is Pedro Pascal.
He pretty much likes it too, because people are kind of like creepy and walk up to him, and he takes it in good faith, which is cool.
Well, even then, like you think about it, The Mandalorian, The Last of Us, even Game of Thrones, because he had 3 kids in that one. Like all of his biggest roles, he has been a father.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna watch after The Small Child. I think it'll be easier to write this movie too, because I don't think it's directly connected with the MCU. It takes place in like a part of the multiverse, and then I think they get sucked into our verse type shit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to be very honest. Marvel is not the only people that had big news at San Diego Comic-Con. Let's talk about DC. Did you see the logo reveal?
I did. Looks good. I honestly felt like I've seen that logo. I was like, that's new. I feel like I've seen that 1,000 times already. But I guess that's like, it's familiar to like, because they've changed their logo a bunch of times.
Well, this is the 2016 logo, and this is the new one.
Yeah.
The closest we get to is like 1976 till 2005. I
like it. I just hope they have a better studio, because not a better studio, but just a better like run at their cinematic universe. I'm pissed that the fucking DCU's over, because like there was a lot of bad, but there was some good, like Halo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sucked. Yeah. Sucked. I really fucking like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna miss Harley Quinn. I'm gonna miss the actor who played the guy who played Blue Beetle. Like, he was good. I think he might be.
Are you talking about the animated Harley Quinn?
Nah. Like,
or are you talking about like Margot Robbie? Yeah.
And Sasha Calle, that's what I was thinking of, the one who played Supergirl. Like, she was insane. And
I don't think it's really out of the question to recast some of these people, especially like Supergirl, because that was a CW show.
Nah, because remember in The Flash they had Sasha Calle with like the short hair.
Right.
And she was like, the Flash movie wasn't that good, but she was amazing in that fucking movie. And I love Millie Alcock, because she's gonna look more like the classic Supergirl, but like, damn, that guy.
Is that who they got to do that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the one that played young Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon?
Yes,
boom! Connection to the next segment.
I like that. That's good. But yeah, no, she is, and she's gonna do a good job too. But I'm gonna miss Sasha fucking Calle. So.
And I mean, I really think that this is gonna be good. I think the logo reveal is not nearly as exciting as. I gotta look around my microphone now because I moved it. This, boom! Superman's finished filming.
Yeah.
What?
I'm surprised we haven't gotten more leaks, because they show a couple of set pictures, but like the whole Game of Thrones episode or House of Dragon, that shit leaked online already. You know what
I know.
So like avoiding that, like. It's so fucking terrible navigating these things, because some things you don't care about spoilers. Some things you're like, no, I want to experience it like this.
And well, I've already read the book, Fire and Blood. So for me, I'm really upset because they've changed some stuff that I've really dug in that show. And now I've been spoiled on some of it.
They change anything this week for you, or?
Oh yeah, they got some shit this week for me, but we also watched it kind of late. We watched half of it on Monday and the second half on Tuesday.
Yeah. I had a lot of funny fucking memes from this one. Like, that's how I judge certain episodes. I'm like, it was good. The memes are all right. This episode was peak. The memes peak.
But are you excited to see Superman? Are you ready to see if James Gunn can actually fucking do it?
I think. No matter what James Gunn does, we're gonna have like shitty ass fucking trolls who like the DCU, the crazy Snyder people online.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the only way this movie is successful, if it is a 10 out of 10 and it makes like 700 million, anything less is gonna be a failure in a lot of people's eyes. And I know that's completely unreasonable, but
I don't think so when you go with Superman though. Like, even the older movies were box office hits when they came out. Like, I don't think you can fuck up Superman. And it being the first one seems to be a running theme, but I get why.
I just wonder, like, because I know like one of my favorite part of James Gunn movies, because he obviously does the Guardians, is like the soundtrack is really good. So I'm wondering, how is it going to be split? Is it going to be like a lot of like needle drop moments, like some of the Guardians? Is it going to create a whole new theme? Go to the classic theme from the '80s, like?
No, Superman's new theme will be hooked on a filling.
Yeah, I believe it. Hooked on a feeling.
And I want you to know right now, if that song shows up in the movie, this clip gonna make an appearance again.
Yeah, but nah, I'm excited. I'm glad they're taking the time because it doesn't come out for a while, so they're gonna do a lot of good post production, so it looks fucking good.
Yeah,
because I want to see some scenes. I want to see a great flying sequence. I want to see it all.
I want to see him turn back time by flying backwards around the world.
No.
So, is there anything that you can think of that I missed from San Diego Comic-Con we want to talk about? Because we got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes before we have to start talking about House of the Dragon because it was a big episode.
I think we got it all. I don't have my phone on me, but not it was that Captain America trailer that came out, I think.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. But nothing really new besides Esposito's character.
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to be excited for Marvel stuff at this point because they've been so successful for so like I am so hyped for this Superman movie because I sincerely want to see DC stop being a train wreck.
I like them both, man. Like
but I'm like the Thunderbolts, seeing Red Hulk look dope as shit, seeing all of Harrison Ford's little quippy interviews also dope as shit.
Dude, my favorite part of that trailer is they put a Leslie Nielsen picture in the background.
Before we go to talk about House of the Dragon, we got to talk about this. Skeleton Crew comes out December 3rd. We have a official release date. Jude Law is going to be a Jedi.
Nice.
Which, dope. We knew it was inspired by the Goonies, and we also knew it was taking place around the same time as The Mandalorian. So the only new thing is we have Jude Law starring as a Jedi.
There's also one of those, Max Rebo, the little blue guy who plays the piano. There's one of those creatures.
It's got to be the same guy. I refuse to believe otherwise.
So we got Max Rebo, baby, like Baby Yoda, baby Max Rebo.
Oh, is it a baby? Boo!
Well, he's like, because like they're like kids. I think Jude Law is like that's where the Goonie thing is like.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Are you excited for this one? I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I don't know enough to have any hype for it.
I'm always excited for Star Wars. I remember like thinking. I remember just being younger and like not even watching the Clone Wars because I was like, I don't want to watch it as a cartoon, blah 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 blah, and then just kind of like, I'll watch the Clone Wars, I'll watch Rebels. I just kind of like dug into Disney, and that's some of my favorite content. You know what I mean?
Pandemic got me. That's what I binged during the pandemic. I watched all of Clone Wars, all of Rebels. Resistance.
So amazing, right? But like, I don't want to judge a show before I watch it. Like, I'll definitely give it a chance. I hope it's more, that than some of the lower tier. Because Marvel, DC, there's the good, there's the bad, the middle, like fucking Cedra. So I hope this is really good. So,
I do too. I mean, I think after the Acolyte, having something that I could say was a like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 TV series would be great because I really liked the Acolyte, but I'm gonna need that season 2 to make a final determination on how much.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see like if Jude Law's a Jedi. Jude Law's like a little older than me, my age. That means he lived through Order
66, yeah,
and all that stuff. Like, where was he hiding? What was he doing?
All right, now I'm gonna practice. I want you to think about the haters on December 4th. How many more Jedi are going to survive Order 66? It's ridiculous.
I honestly think there are not enough Jedi to survive Order 66.
Yeah, it should be like, they say that there were, 10,000 knights?
10,000 knights doesn't necessarily account for all the Force-sensitive people out there.
Right, but let's go with 10,000 knights in the Jedi Order. At Order 66, right?
Yeah.
They killed 99%. That is 1,000 motherfuckers left.
Exactly. What have we had? Less than 20?
90% rather.
Yeah, there should be more.
And I'm sure that some died after. But you know, I don't mind seeing a Jedi that was like, oh no, I remember what the Order was like. I know what we did wrong. I'm a real good guy. Like, I really like that whole redemption arc that we've gotten out of so many of these.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him do a story like where there was that video game Force Unleashed where like a couple of one of the guy who's
You're right. He should pull the Star Destroyer down from the orbit.
Well, that too, but like his master like didn't work with clones because he didn't trust him, so he wasn't in Order 66.
Oh, Ram Koda.
Exactly. So like a story like that could kind of like make sense, and then like he just let his soldiers go free, and then he like was like, yeah, I just threw my lightsaber away because I just didn't want to die. You know what I mean?
Well, in Legends, he fought in the rebellion and won, but he was also an old guy.
Yeah,
I think it would be interesting to see someone like that, though.
They made him Kanan basically because they get kind of blinded in the same way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is true. Although, admittedly, Kanan might be cooler.
You think? That dude was pretty old. Gray hair and shit.
Like, yeah. But I think Kanan was the better by-the-book Jedi, like what you're supposed to do type shit. And he had a bigger impact on the war, arguably.
Kanan and Cal Kestis might be like the best Jedis.
I don't know. I'm excited to see if we get Ahsoka season 2, so I can see what Ezra's out like nowadays. How much of Kanan's in him.
Yeah, Ezra's like my favorite. I love fucking Ezra.
But we got other shit to talk about. We got dragons on dragons on dragons on dragons.
She's about to blow that 4-dragon lead, though. Someone told me. But.
Not for a while.
What was your favorite part of this episode?
Oh. Jamie. Play the video. Hands down was Hugh claiming Vermithor. Because I knew this was coming. But.
This might be one of my favorite. All of House of Dragon and Game of Thrones.
Say what?
This scene might be one of my favorite scenes in all of like Game of Thrones and like House of Dragon.
Yes. I really, really enjoyed this one. I think the whole sequence of, you know, Hugh yelling at the dragon being like, oh, I kind of like that. Yeah. And letting him ride her. Dope as shit. I also loved Ulf claiming Silverwing the way he did, just like kind of drunkenly stumbling upon it.
He was the lucky one that he was just like, hey, I haven't seen one of you guys in a while. And you're a Targaryen with no dragon? You know what? We're going to be friends.
If you want to go for a ride?
Yeah. But like, I remember hearing Daenerys talk like Valerian and all that stuff and things like that. And I was like, that's cool. Nobody speaks it better than this lady right here. Rhaenyra is insane. And from now on, I am no longer calling dragons by their white name. It is not Caraxes, it's Caraxes. It is not Vermithor, it's
Vermithor.
Yeah. Roll them R's, America. Vermitos. And she's just like, Dohairas. I was like, oh my God, I'm sad.
You know, again, for our listeners, you can learn High Valyrian on Duolingo.
You can.
But that owl will find you to do your High Valyrian lessons. It's giving, do you want to build a snowman?
I'm dead.
They need to stop whitewashing these dragon names.
Caraxes. Vermitos. Sea smoke.
Yeah, what did you, the beginning of that I thought was really good with Adam and Rhaenyra. Also love that despite him claiming a dragon, Corlys isn't like, you're my son. I remember you.
He just like we're just talking about that in the open now. We don't have time for subtext. It's like my other son, your brother, has claimed a dragon. What? I'm Sultan C. You might get my inheritance. I'll see you in 5. Just walks away.
I did love that. I really hope this leads to the other brother, Alan, I believe his name is, growing his hair out, because that's why he shaves it, is because it looks like Corlys's.
He's definitely doing that. But like, I liked seeing when he like picked the dragon that like it just wasn't easy. Like they brought a bunch of Targaryen fucking down there. It goes fucking real wrong. He saves the girl. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what I noticed in the scene. Like he saves her, like once pushing her away, and then the dragon's about to burn her, and he's like, nah, come to me. And then like he claimed her. Like that was. And then like if you watch the scene, like the dragon's here, like Hugh's here, and then Rhaenyra's like standing right there in the scene, like watching it all happen.
Yeah.
Like she's in the scene, and like that's fucking fire. Like it was.
What did you think about Vagar still not listening to Aemon?
Vagar is him. Like,
bro, that old woman just wants her nap.
Yeah,
snap.
Like she don't care. Like she's really that dude, and like she's flying there, and he's like, "Nah, we got to go." And she's like, "Why? I can take them all. I've never lost a fight." Like, nah, that was.
I'm 100 years old. How much longer do you think I want to live for? I thought you were cool, one-eyed Visenya, which has been my favorite meme to have come out of this, is people referring to Aemond as one-eyed Visenya, who was her original rider.
I'm dead. Oh, I didn't know that. I think now that you say that, like I've seen the pictures.
That's a good point. I do think that the fact that Aemond is able to control her at all is amazing, because I believe all of her other riders, except for maybe one, have been female.
I think my favorite meme was like that scene in Shrek where the dragon was like talking to Donkey, and that was like Ulf and the other dragon.
Bro, I did that shit during the episode. I looked over at my wife and I was like, "Oh, you're a girl dragon?" I mean, of course you're a girl dragon. Look at you.
Of course. Nah, but it was cool. Like I like seeing, kind of her get her stuff up. I like the conversation between her and a kid when he was like, like you take everything from me now. Which one would you rather have?
You got to give me the Bronze Fury. I'm sorry, give me the old man's dragon.
Really? I'm taking Sea Smoke.
No, Vermithor's so badass.
Vermithor. Yeah, nah. Sea Smoke, like I like him because a little smaller, and just the way like you were talking about in the first scene, they're kind of like here and they're talking to each other. She's like accusing him of like having a house dragon. He's like, "Hey, I didn't do motherfucking anything. This dragon just hijacked me, and I'm here." Type shit.
But he wanted me.
Yeah, as she's walking towards him, Sea Smoke is like, "If you come near my rider, I'm gonna
fry you.
I'm gonna kill you. I don't care that you're the fucking queen. That's my dude right there." You know what I mean? And I like that about Sea Smoke. Like, yeah, Silverwing is like a diva, like 100%. And like, if back in my like pothead days, I'm thinking I'm choosing Silverwing. But like now, my old age, I'm like, I need someone who's got my back. And Sea Smoke wants all the smoke.
I mean, Vermithor just seems like they're very ready for anything, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, it was crazy to see.
I'm already riding around on a flying nuke.
And then just
why
that
not do some
huge
crime?
fucking head come into view, though. You know what I'm saying?
I loved when he was yelling at the dragon, like, me.
Yeah.
And he just stopped and was like, all right.
So what have they changed from this episode that you liked or didn't like?
They didn't change a whole lot. Like, mostly this was just establishing, like, who claims the Targaryen dragons. There is one thing they did change. So, at the end of the episode, Rhaena goes to confront the wild dragon in the Vale.
Sheep Stealer, some shit, right?
Sheep Stealer, yes. So there was a character in the book called Nettles that was, like, the only black woman in Game of Thrones. Because the Valerians are supposed to be white, but that I don't care. I think that all of the actors, Steve Toussaint has nailed Corlys.
Yeah, I like the look too, like the white dreads, like the dark skin, like
it looks dope as shit.
Sorry if you don't like it. I know what to tell you.
But Nettles might be the one that gets me because she is originally like the black character in the book for this period of time. She's lowborn. She's poor as shit. Now, she does end up falling in love with Daemon. But since she's gone now, and that's his daughter, I really don't think they're going to keep that. So I don't feel like that's a spoiler.
Okay.
But I mean, I think that's the one that really bothers me, but I am still glad to see, like, I really like the actress that plays Rhaena. And I think her coming into her own and not only claiming a dragon, but a wild dragon.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. She's
100%.
like, I'm like Daenerys. I don't need a saddle. We just chill.
Now, I will say this. I think it is interesting that Sea Smoke chose a rider, but rejected Laenor's sis cousin. Niece?
But we don't want a girl.
Well, so the theory is that Sea Smoke taking a new rider means Laenor is finally dead somewhere.
Okay.
Because dragons are supposed to bond with their riders for the life of one or the other.
That too.
So and 100%.
So it was just bad.
I think, yeah, it was bad timing. I don't think that Sea Smoke was going to kill her. If she had done it now, probably would have worked. But I think the first time, Laenor was definitely alive, and Sea Smoke claiming Adam, as it were, means that he is for sure dead.
Yeah, the smoke looks so cool too. Maybe just because like that's one of the few ones you get to see like in all the light.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, you got that in Vermithor in the last episode. That's him in the background.
Yeah, but he's still in the background. Like put him in the front.
I don't know. I like Cyrax. She looks so mean.
She is mean. She's like, you killed my kid, you dirty old bitch. Come here.
Dude, it is so crazy to me, too, that all of these dragons are directly related.
They gotta be, right?
Like, a lot of the dragons that are dying are like Vagar's kids and grandkids.
She don't give a fuck.
She does not. She ate one of them.
You know the war I was in, motherfucker? See these gunshots in my wings? I had it easy.
And I do. She looks so good every time she flies. The dragon is huge and terrifying, and they nailed the scale of her.
Yeah, no. That like this season's been a little slow. And I think part of the reason is because the first season, even though I didn't like the time jump served it well, and it kept the pace moving really, really well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I would have loved more of like young Alice and young Rhaenyra, but like it was time. And
I also think one of the pacing issues in this season comes from how they've changed Rhaenyra.
Yeah, because they wanted to look kind of more over the protagonist, so they're kind of drawing out parts of the story.
Well, I mean, honestly, to be fair, I think that they're going to redirect it a little bit, because in the book, she comes across as very arrogant about it because she was named heir.
Yeah.
But in this one, it seems like it's going to be more of a, well, the prophecy was told to me, it's mine by the right of the prophecy because he trusted me, not Aegon, with the prophecy.
Yeah.
Type shit. Which I'm not opposed to. I think it's a better motivation. But I do feel like that's made them have to be like, okay, well, we can't make her go to war unless she really, really, really has to. Also, Rebel, I think that's it for Laenor. I don't think we ever get any kind of follow-up on them.
Yeah. He lived happily ever after. He died.
He went to a farm upstate.
Yeah. Now I'm writing Sea Smoke.
Also, we only have a little bit of time left, but I did want to mention the MVP of this episode in my heart, Oscar Tully.
Dude.
Slay King. Look at that hair.
He just kept spitting on Daemon. Like, if you're going to kill me, I literally could care less. Like, whatever. I'm just going to shit on you.
I stan a curly-haired Lord Paramount.
I just think it was, because like you need to move the plot, so like finally they kind of did that. It's like, all right, we're with you. So now the next scene, he'll probably get out of the fucking Luigi's mansion or something.
Yeah, no, I think the next one, because you had this whole, and I really like what they've done with Daemon, because I don't know if you knew this or not, but that is George's favorite character in the entire thing is Daemon Targaryen. That's why he does all this cool shit you're gonna see.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really have a lot of depth, and I feel like this is adding it. Like all of these, like visions and shit are really adding a lot of depth as to why Daemon wants to stand with his family in this versus the books. And it makes sense the way that the book is read as a history compiled by several people that you get this like very cold Daemon Targaryen.
It's not like you're reading a POV. It's like, this is what I think he felt. So we're just kind of filling in what we know he felt type shit. You know what I'm
Also,
saying?
yes, Oscar does look so much like Rob.
Yeah. I think it was just crazy to see, you know, like, just look at that right there. You know what we're talking about, like other shows like The Acolyte and things like that. Look at that kid's armor. That looks fucking real. That looks like if I hit it with a sword, he might survive. You know what I mean?
So who do you think's the better bitch here? Lyanna Mormont or Oscar Tully?
I mean, Mormont did eventually go toward and fight like a giant.
And killed it.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
it
like,
killed her, but she did kill it.
Yeah. So I think she wins.
I don't know, man. I think Oscar standing up to Daemon like that when he just turned the tables on him at the end of that meeting was the dopest shit I've seen a child do in Game of Thrones. When he was just like, well, you know, you kind of fucked it up, so you need to fix it.
There was this meme. It was like the LeBron James meme where he's like I don't care. And it was like, Daemon, watch your tongue. The kid. He was fucking hysterical.
When he's called him King Consort,
It's like a slur to Daemon.
I really love how hard Oscar Tully, like, can't be more than 14, just bodied a 40, 50-year-old man.
It kind of shows that's why like these kids are like raised that way in that time, because like that kid from the time of being born is like, all right, we're gonna be raised to be a lord. You're gonna have to talk to people. You're gonna have to do this and do this. And that's why he's not some scared kid. He's like, yeah, I get that I have to do this thing, but I'm not gonna like it, and they're gonna hear my voice.
I too have no love for Daemon Targaryen.
Fuck this guy.
And that is why you got to kill that guy.
Yeah, it was true.
Which also struck me as like a very like callback to the tie between the North and the Riverlands in the original series. That he was like, well, you know, the guy that told him to do it should be the one that kills him.
Yeah, I do feel like that this season, like somewhere along the line, lost some of its pacing, and like this episode should have been like the second to last, and next week should be because like I feel like we're like I don't think there's enough story to be told like in the season finale. We're just gonna get like a huge cliffhanger and no resolution. You know
No,
what I mean? And that sucks because then it's over and then I gotta wait.
I think that you're gonna get some resolution for the only plot I feel like needs it right now, because again, I'm looking at it 3D from here's where we are, here's where we're ending up. This is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing you get resolution on is Daemon solidifying his support for his family. You'll get Rhaena claiming sheep stealer. You'll maybe we'll see a battle next episode.
Maybe
no. I'm genuine. If we see a battle next episode, not so much cliffhanger anymore.
Okay. What about Kristen Cole? I feel like they're just going to give us like 45 minutes of Kristen Cole the next episode.
I don't think so.
Good.
I think we'll see some of them. I actually, as much as I hate the guy, I got to give it to the actor.
Oh, yeah.
Great job.
Yeah. Hey, that haircut's terrible, though.
Oh, God.
Like, I don't think I hated him until he cut his hair. Like, he has done everything the same, and I was like, I don't care. He's kind of a shitty person. Yeah, but once he cut his hair, I was like, no. And you're fucking ugly, bro. Get away from me. Like, what happened to the swoop? What's this? This girl broke your heart. You got a bad haircut, and now you're off at war? Like, nah, I don't like you. The worst.
Why do you think Allison took the moon tea? The haircut, bro.
You had two queens take like the morning after pill because they're like, no, fuck Kristen Cole.
Ain't nobody want to have his kids.
I'm dead.
But how did you feel about the Allison stuff this week? That's been pretty controversial on mine.
I feel like they're trolling the fans a little bit because they know the fans don't like her. So they're like, okay, let's just give them a 6-minute scene of Allison taking a bath.
Well, you know, the leaks for that said that she was going to try and kill herself.
Yeah? Does she in the books, or is that just...
No.
No? I think, like, for one, I love the actress. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was in Ready Player One. She was in something else. But, like, She's super hot, so like I can't really hate her. So I'm like down, like oh no, I'm sorry, more Allison, you know.
Start calling you the Kingmaker.
But no, I love her, bro. The only one I
Do
really
you have any predictions for what you think we're gonna see next week?
uh, I think because I have tried to avoid the leaks, I think the sheep stealer thing is definitely happening. Like I think because it wouldn't make
Good
sense.
bet.
Yeah, like she can't just leave and then like oh she's gone. Like she'll probably claim her. They'll see her. She'll touch the dragon. That's the end of the season. Type shit.
I think that is the most likely ending shot. If I'm honest, that makes a lot of sense.
And then it makes sense. And then it's so annoying because then we gotta wait a year or two. They should just keep filming these things. Like they should already be filming season 3. Like, all right, we finished like filming. You guys get a month off. Now you're filming it again. Like we don't have to film it as hardcore. You have like 3 days on, 4 days off. But like film it fast. Fucking do like I'm tired of waiting 2 years for seasons of shows.
I think a lot of that comes from post too, because you got to think of all the CGI they do in these shows and how good it looks.
Think about it. If you filmed it in 4 months after you did it, you could have 8 months, and then it'd be like a year. A year is good enough to wait. A year and a half.
This is HBO, son. They don't cut corners unless it's Game of Thrones season 8 because the showrunners want it out.
Oh my god, they're the worst. I'm glad their Star Wars somewhat canceled. Exactly. They were like imagine like Friends had like 22 episodes a season. And shit was on every fucking year. You know
And look what happened to them.
What happened to them? Something bad happened?
Wasn't one of them the one that drowned last year?
Oh yeah, but that was a bad time later.
It's true.
That was Chandler, unfortunately.
Although they did have to be in Friends.
Matthew Perry. Friends was dope.
I'm a Friends hater. I'm a Seinfeld stan.
I love both. Why can't you just love both? I love Seinfeld and Friends. Seen both, every episode of each.
I think what upsets me so much about Friends is like I never saw any of them work really. But the opening of every episode of Seinfeld, you see Seinfeld do a couple of minutes of material. So you knew he had a job.
What do you like more, Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Curb.
Really? I like
100%. I love those cringy ass shows like Nathan For You and Reviewed.
I always want to punch Larry David in the face, but some of the clips are funny though. Like he does know how to write comedy at a high level of like you can't look away and you want to look away type shit.
Yeah,
he does 100%.
Well, that's like he told the guy that plays George Costanza after the first season was over. He's like, "Oh no, all of these are things I've done." So Costanza started playing, or Jason Alexander started playing him as Larry David.
That's funny. I feel like George peaked once he got to the Yankees, and then that's when his character was like the best because it was like a little bit of success, and he wasn't just like, "Oh, bad things have happened to me." He was like, because like every character in that show was peak, man. I don't understand when people don't love those '90s shows.
Hard to agree. But do you have any final thoughts for this week before we let the people go?
Go see Deadpool and Wolverine, and then text me immediately after.
I'm going to try. But folks, we will see you next Thursday, 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard. We're going to be talking about the House of Dragons finale and whatever kind of news we scrounge up.
Yeah.
And then the week after that, we're going to try and figure out what we do when we don't have a show to watch.
Something will happen. We'll figure it out.
Something will happen.
We've done this for so long, and we just always figure it out. There's always something to talk about.
Always. But until then, folks, bye.
Bye.